Hello everybody, how are we doing? I can see chat's getting going nice and early. I love it. How is everyone? I'm not sure if this setup's going to be okay today. I might have to do a bit of tweaking because we haven't live streamed since February, and once again there's loads of settings and things that have been updated, changed, etc. The levels, the light levels and the sound levels look okay from my end, but please tell me if that's not the case for your good selves. Let's see who we've got. Also, can someone let me know? I've got the chat window open beside the streaming software, and it's got the top fan rankings beside all your names, and it's like everyone's competing for first place. Is it just me that can see that, or can you guys see that too? I'm pretty sure you can. But I was like, well, that wasn't there the last time we did this. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, sounds a look good. Okay, excellent. All good. Oh, the sun has come out through the dirty grey sky. Oh, that's good, Jan. It's lovely here today. I'm sure you can tell by the light streaming through my blind there. It's really sunny here today. It's quite windy though. Normal. It is new, Thea. I thought I was like, I don't remember. Am I just like blocked that out of my memory or something? That's funny. I was trying to figure out what Thea was saying. They're nothing super fancy. She's talking about her jumper. All the jumpers. Minnie's the way to make a cup of tea. Good shout, Minnie. I have mine here. I'm just drinking black tea today. It's not very exciting. I have an extremely sore tooth. I have the dentist on Friday, so I've decided to self-medicate with some pretty good painkillers. And I've made the executive decision that when we stop for the intermission halfway through this stream, I will also be self-medicating with Jack Daniels. So I'm just hoping that I can make it to Friday. I'm not sleeping very well, like it's kind of keeping me awake a wee bit. So I'll go and see what's going on. Generally, I'm very lucky with my teeth, so I'm hoping it's just like something stuck in it, or you know, something like that, and it's not drastic. I need a filling or anything ridiculous. Oh, thanks, Thea. My hair. Yeah, I'm a wee bit windswept, but I don't know. I actually don't know how to feel about it. I've had a lot more of it lightened this time before I had this sort of delicate blue colour put in. Like, see, wait a minute to get the right side. Yeah, see if I do that, like, you can see, like, natural hair colour, that's, you know, I'm still mostly this colour, so it is quite light, but I think it looks really grey, so I'm not sure if I like it or not. I might just get a really bright colour and whack it over the whole thing. I'm not entirely sure, but you can see I've got bits that look really, really blue though. Anywho's, enough about that. I'm on the fence. I like the cut this time, but I'm not convinced about the colour, honestly. Patty's got nothing by her name. Yeah, number 3. You too, Patty. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. I was just saying there now, we haven't done a live stream since February. It's been such a long time. Oh, Jan's got ink delivered, Lord of the Rings theme. Oh, that's exciting. Well, I have been absolutely up to my ears in everything that's stuff that I don't want. My proper job is supposed to be quite structured, and I'm supposed to do like quite not completely rigid set hours, but you know, very much in the part-time realm. And this week has just been overrun with stuff, and it's left very little time for the cave, which I'm not very happy about. I really want to get some videos out because the YouTube algorithm has absolutely like abandoned me, and we need some activity to sort of start bumping that back up, but I haven't had a minute. I was saying to some of the guys on the Discord, in fact, I think most of you are on the Discord that are in just now, I was in a meeting at 4:30 yesterday. I'm supposed to finish at 2 o'clock. I'm still at 4:30. It's like, oh, jeez. Oh, Nye says, it has been, and I don't know about all of you, but life here has changed so much that it feels like years instead of months. Yes, I feel that very, very, very much. Naturally, because of the circumstances, my life has become very different in the last 4 or 5 months. Not all of it bad, though, I have to say, to be fair, but just very, very different, very, very different. But it feels like a long time, doesn't it? Patty says, I wonder how they judge the number. I might be able to tell you that, just if you bear with me. I'm pretty sure I get like let me see. Yeah, there's a wee question mark. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so everybody gets a fair shot. So you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You need to collect experience points or XP. Well, Patty, I know I don't need to explain that to you. You can get them by sending live chat messages, sending super chats and super stickers. So there you go. Now you know. Today I learned. Jan's work. What are you talking about? Like, I don't see Jan here. There's no Jan here. What are you talking about? That actually reminds me, just, you know, while we're still in this sort of informal phase, Jan, that project that we talked about is on the to-do list for me after I finish this stream, so you will be receiving information from me a bit later on today regarding your task. Just to let you know. Again, that was something that I was planning on doing that on like Saturday or Sunday, but it never came to fruition because, yeah, me. Basically. Hello, Yana. Ah, nice to see you. This is so lovely. See, because it's been so long, this is so nice. And this is why I wanted to get on like before 3 o'clock, just so we could have a chance to like wave to people and be happy to have people in the stream again. It's lovely. As always, I am a figment of your tortured imaginations. Always, Jan, always. Ah. It's so good. It's so good. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I think you were making tea, and I was just saying to everyone else, I'm not entirely convinced about the colour situation. It's a bit of a long and involved story, but my hairdresser is also not happy with the colour, and it's the brand that they've been using in the salon. And I think I've had a lot of it lightened this time, so I'm kind of on the fence, but the one thing I will say is having such an unnatural colour, aka the blue, it actually looks better. Like it looks more natural because it's not the same in all the areas. Because some of these sections of hair, especially in that sort of mid-length, I mean that's been lightened twice. So obviously the colour is going to be a bit more vibrant there, but I think it makes it, you know, the fact that it's not uniform makes it look a bit better. And I don't seem to have any of that like sort of horrible faded green left. Like it is, the bits that are blue, but I wanted something a bit subtler this time in terms of the blue colour. But I do feel that it actually makes me look more grey than I actually am, because the reality is I'm not this grey. So yeah, I don't know, like I don't know, okay, right, I'm a 40-odd-year-old woman, like I'm allowed to feel that way about these things. Secret squirrel mode on, yes. Well, hey, Julia K. Can we all give a big shout out to Julia for coming into the chat? I know she's extremely busy and I've been pestering her with stupid questions. I am going to visit her next... Oh, I can say that, next week. It's next week. And I've been sending her stupid questions like, can you find me a 10k running route so that when I come over I can go for a run? Nice to see you, Julia. Oh, you like the hair too? Okay, I'm not repeating that conversation again. You can go back and watch the start and you find out how I feel about it. I'm not entirely convinced. Maxie, nice to see you too. I did notice that you changed your name and automatically assumed it was you, so I'm glad that I was right about that as well. And we've got Danny Sprinkles. Hello, Ms. Sprinkles. It's so good. Honestly, it's so good to see you guys in the chat. Like, it's been... I didn't think it would affect me in this way. I have had other things to contend with, but it's so nice to be back here today. Oh, Terry! Yay! Hi, Terry! Hello, Frank. I think the colour looks great. Love the shirt. Oh, yeah. I initially bought this shirt, Frank, because it had sparkles on it. But I do like a bit of Kiss. I'm a rock and roll kid at heart. Julia says it's just fun questions. Who's this Jan person you speak of? Yeah, that's not a thing, Patty. It was quite funny earlier on when I was messaging back and forth with Julia. She sent me a picture of some colouring books that she'd seen in the supermarket, and Mr. Jem was in the house when she'd sent it through, so I was kind of having a wee chuckle, and he's like, what are you laughing at? And so I showed him the picture and I was like, these are really cheap in Sweden. And he was like looking at the price tags, and he says that's in krona, isn't it? And he said, do you just like, are you at the stage where you can like automatically convert from krona into British pounds? So I explained to him the formula that I use, which is what Julia taught me, and it's not scientific at all. Basically, you take your krona and you divide it by 10, which kind of roughly gives you it in euros, and then you just take a wee bit off to put it into pounds. And Mr. Jim's sitting there going, right, okay, whatever, like, you're such a weirdo, why don't you like work it out properly? And I'm like, well, because I don't need to, because it's a bit fluffy, but it kind of works. But he was just like, I've got no idea how your brain works. So there you go, Julia, your conversion theory works very well. Because I was only 24 pence out as well when I converted it from krona into pounds. So that's pretty good. We love a sparkly shirt, yeah. The sparkle's quite subtle as well, and that's kind of what I like about it. Just make sure that 10k route is uphill. How dare you, Jan? Are you trying to kill me? I know I'm back running and all that, but like seriously, I'm nowhere near as fit as I used to be. That obviously a combination of age and the fact that I've had such a large period of time when I'm not running, but I am trying my little hardest. I was out this morning, I was out at 6:45 this morning, and I had my toddle round and everything was great. So just going to keep at it. Jem and Julia logic is beyond Mr. Jem. Oh, that is a fact. That is a fact. Right, okay, it is now 3:01, so we shall go into official live stream colour caveness. So welcome everyone to the live stream. Very happy to be here and very happy to have you all here. And one of the things that's been very apparent to me when I was getting set up today is that I am ready to do this. I was really worried that I wasn't, and it might be a wee bit too much too soon, but I'm feeling, on the whole, I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm super happy to be here. So, for the first hour, I did leave in the description of the live stream that we were going to do some pencil work, and the second half is up for debate. I've got a couple of options that I'll give you in the second half, and I will let you guys judge or pick or vote on what we're going to do for the second hour. So, if I just get my mouse in the right place, that would be helpful. Ooh! In fact, let's go. I'll put myself in the bottom corner so you can keep admiring my hair. Right, so if you cast your minds back to a long time ago, I was working on the next set of sort of cave community stickers. I would really like to get these done out this year, and the one we were talking about was the light source one. So I'm pretty sure I did this part on a live stream or in a video, can't remember, it was such a long time ago, and this was the sort of rough coloured in draft with the font that I've decided on. So what I want to do today is I want to transfer this onto some good paper and get the colours down. So there's been a bit of a thought process with this. The first one was I wanted to pick good paper, so good paper. So I have decided on the Strathmore Bristol Vellum. Again, this is American sizes, so it's a bit of an odd size for the rest of us. 9 by 12 inches, and I've literally just cut that in half, and that's what's given me this size here. The reason that I wanted a Bristol Vellum is I wanted something a bit smoother. Although I want to keep the pencil texture, which is going to be a theme for this sticker set. Most of the sticker sets I have done have been done in pencil because I feel that it reflects, you know, like the thing that I like to do best. I want to use Prismacolor pencils though, because I want these colours, particularly because we're using yellow, I want them to be as vibrant as possible so that they translate well when I scan it and put it into digital form. So that's the logic behind it. I deliberately didn't do more than this. I've got a wee bit of tidying up to do in the pencil work here, but one of the things that I thought would be fun to do on stream is to pick out the Prismacolors that match these original colours. So this was the Luminance pencils, and again, if you were around for that, you would know it was just because they were handy, they were there anyway, and I just kind of like picked a couple out. So a little colour matching exercise, cross brand, and then we're going to head into this. Again, another reason I want to use the Prismacolors is they blend really well, they blend really easily, and I think I can get some really nice smooth transitions between these different colours on the combination of the paper and those particular pencils. So that is going to be the first hour. In other exciting news, this sketchbook, this is one of the Leuchtturm sketchbooks, which I've really enjoyed having. It's really grubby. Now this is a reason not to get a yellow sketchbook. I don't really travel a lot or anything, and it's still got really grubby. But I've only got a couple of pages left in this. This was my niece. My niece left me some artwork. I always let her do that when I see her. I only see her like once a year. But I've got literally a handful of pages left, and then I'm going to be picking a new sketchbook. So that might be another video maybe, if I've got time to ever film anything, which would be nice right now. So first things first, let's do the colour matching first, and then we'll talk about tidying this up. I'll tuck that out the way just now, and I'm going to pop this right at the back here. I'm trying not to bump anything. Cereal with chocolate pieces, ooh. Julia, oh, Julia's gone. Okay, bye, Julia. I'll speak to you later anyway. It'll be fine. Oh, hello, Ulrika. How you doing? Nice to see you. Don't forget to like the video. Yeah, that's actually really important just now. As I say, the YouTube algorithm has literally like bummed me out the gang completely because I haven't been around for 5 months. I am just going to grab my my swatch book so that we can try and match up these colours. I thought I'd brought it out already. Clearly I haven't. Underprepared as usual. But it's right here, so that's okay. So Prismacolors are right at the front. Right, okay, so let's start with the yellow colour. Maybe I can zoom in a wee bitty here. There we go. So the colour here is lemon yellow. We do have a lemon yellow in the Prismacolor pencils. I don't know whether having a cooler of warm yellow is a better idea at this point, so I think I'll pull the lemon and the canary yellow, and we can be the judge of that for you know, like as we go along. We can just feel it out today, guys. Let me just grab a pencil, preferably not a 2B or a 3B. Oh, look. Again, keeping on the Swedish theme, this is an IKEA museum pencil. Julia took me to the IKEA museum when I was in Sweden last time, so I had to get one of the pencils. I'm assuming this is just an HB pencil though. Right, okay, grab a post-it note. I'll write these down. Don't need that. So we'll have lemon. Oh, don't know what happened there. Lemon yellow and canary yellow as a starting point. We've got this ultramarine pink, which it's almost like a violet colour. Might struggle here. I think that the hot pink is too pinky. Like we need to be more into like purples. Maybe lavender. Yeah, I think lavender. So let's write that down. Lavender. I love that you have your niece's art in there too. Well, it's quite funny, Thea, because the first time that we did it, say we don't get to see. So this is like my niece on Mr. Jem's side of the family. We don't see them that often. But every time we do, she's really into. Well, like she's 5. But she's really into like colouring, and I didn't know that Frozen was still a thing. The last time I saw her, she wanted Elsa stuff, so I braided her hair like Elsa. She's got blonde hair, but she was colouring Frozen things as well. So I'd taken down a set of the Koh-i-Noor magic pencils to give to her for her to keep, and she absolutely loved that as well. But I asked her, because the year before she'd scribbled something in. That first time I'd torn out the pages and like so she could take them away with her, and that was the first time. So that was a couple of years ago, but I taped it back in like so I could keep it. So it's like a running theme now. We do it every year. So now that she's in school, because she's 5, I'm going to get her to do one last one this year, because we're going to see them at Christmas. And then I'm going to make copies of them and frame them all and give them to her so she can hang them in her bedroom. Danny has finished her soup prep and sat with her arty things. Yay! What are you arting, Danny? I would love to know. It's just a pencil. How dare you, Patty? It's just a pencil. Did you see the video Sarah Renee Clark did a few months ago on pencil light fastness? I only just saw it this week and was really impressed. Yeah, Sarah's videos are great, and she's very good at doing the sort of deep dive stuff. I have not seen that, again, for aforementioned reasons. But I will definitely set time aside to watch that, because we're all into that. Danny says, silly Gem. All Disney princesses are forever and timeless. Yeah, no, but I thought like Frozen had kind of had its day, because like we were stuck with it forever, and nobody could let it go. Thea hasn't watched Sarah in a while either. Arctic is the reason I was a little late. I got distracted with gouache. That is the best excuse ever. The methodology and research behind it was great. Ooh, okay, well, see the minute, right, you had me sold on methodology. That is a key gem word, obviously because of my science background. Have you done more tree paintings, Ulrika? I'm more interested in whether she's got any murder trees or not. Just saying. Well, we'll look forward to that, Ulrika. Right, anyway, sidetracked. Right, we picked lavender. So the next one is this quinacridone purple. Jeez. So, but the good thing about the Prismacolors is they do have a lot of purples, so we should be able to pick something out. I'm kind of torn between, and I'm looking on the camera, like on the screen, to see what it looks like through the camera as well. We could go dark purple. It feels a bit muddy though. The Dahlia or Dahlia, however you want to pronounce it, that looks a bit red though. Ideally we could do with something in between these two colours, I think. But I think I might just go for the dark purple. I think that's probably a better option. Marigold, yes, more murder trees. I'll do a murder tree for Miri. Quinn purple, mate, yeah. Miri thinks the dark purple looks rose. Yeah, I would be more inclined to go with that. Again, I'm always banging on about, you know, not being stuck with all the mid-tones. It's got a bit more depth to it. I agree, Miri, I agree. Dark purple. And then we have the bleu de nuit. So, yeah. This does have, like, this is more purple leaning than blue leaning. The dioxazine it's too, I want to say grey. I don't even know if that's the direction that might want to lean. The other thing that I've got to remember is, see these swatches in this book, these swatches were done a long time ago, and this is not acid free paper. You can see that it's starting to yellow, so that might actually be causing issues, aside from the fact that the sun wouldn't make its mind up whether it's behind a cloud or in a cloud, and I'm getting annoyed about it. I can't do anything about that other than getting a blackout blind, which I don't want for various reasons that we won't go into. So, I think the dioxazine might be the starting point, but I might change my mind on that. Oh, goodness me. Standard, like, full technical and scientific approach to this as always, obviously. But we'll see how it goes. Just slapping down some watercolour and hoping I like the results. That's my favourite way to use watercolour. Really glad Julia's not here to hear me say that, but Miri's tempted to get her pencils out and do murder trees. Honestly, like, I think we should have like a murder tree tutorial that is either in tandem with you or features you or something like that, because I think everyone should be able to draw murder trees. I know it comes to you naturally, but I think it was really fun. Got myself a couple of Pith sketchbooks. They're lovely for pencils. Oh, shh. La 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 la. The Imperial Violet looks violet looks like it could get dark. We'll see. I might pull it out just. Yes to the murder tree tutorial. Right, I might have to consult with Miri on that and see what she wants to do, but I think that would be really good. Wow, murder tree tutorial. The thing is though, I can't have that as a title on my videos on YouTube. Like I can't. We would have to give it an alternative name. Goodness me. Right, I can see there is 21 concurrent viewers at the moment. I don't know if we're going to go much higher than that today. I expected this stream to be really quiet for the aforementioned reasons. If anyone would like to join the Discord that isn't on the Discord and uses Discord, please just send me an email. Thea, are you able to put the cave, like my cave email address up in the chat? Do they let you do that? If anyone would like to get an invite, then please let me know. There's lots of extracurricular chat that goes on over there, including murder trees. So if anybody wants to join us there, they're more than happy to. There's a kind of group of us that are always hanging about like a bad smell. There's always someone to chat to. Not all of it art related. Some general chit chat as well, but there's quite a lot of arty stuff that goes on as well if you fancy a little bit of that. In Mary's case, it's just trying to draw a tree. I know, YouTuber always spoiling my fun night, honestly. Like, bearing in mind that I've been on YouTube for like 7 years or something, the amount of traffic that's directed to my videos is like minimal, and it's because I had to take some time off because my mum died. So draw your own conclusions from that. Dispatch trees, there it is. We'll call them dispatch trees. Ulrika, that's perfect. I freaking love it. Thanks, Thea. Right, okay, so dispatch trees. Oh, it's so good. Right, so we need lemon yellow and canary yellow, which are next door to each other. And we've got these. Oh, it's been such a long time. Hello, Prismacolors. We'll get those out. And we're going to go for lavender. I'm pretty sure that lavender is the correct choice for the lighter purple. Yeah, that's a pencil I'm confident in. You know, like that was the only one that was close, and pretty familiar with these pencils, so we'll go with that. So we'll get the dark purple somewhere. There's the dioxazine. Look at this state. Like, that's so sad. This is the thing I hate about Prismacolors. That, and they're really expensive if you're in the UK. Right, I've got the dioxazine. I need the dark purple. Where's it gone? Oh. Also very sad. Not what we need though. Violet. I'm going to have to lean this up because some of the pencils are going to fall out otherwise. Right, there's my dark purple. And then Imperial Violet. There we go. Alright. I have the required pencils. So I've got this other half of this original sheet, the 9x12. So we'll use this for our pencils and see what we think. We'll do a bit of swatching here. Can still get a bit of layering because it's the vellum. There is a wee bit of tooth, not a terrible amount, obviously, because it's Bristol paper, but enough that we can try for some vibrancy. So that is the lemon yellow, and I know on camera that looks ridiculous, but you can see the difference between the warm and the cool tone. But I just want to see them all side by side, like on a sheet. As Mr. Jem would say, oh, sheet. So that's the lemon. And that's the canary. And then we've got our lavender pencil, yes. It's a wee bit purplier than the ultramarine pink, but we were originally using purple colours anyway, but look at that, like, yes. Initial like gut reaction is to use the lemon yellow. That's just what my eyeballs communicating to my brain. Would love to hear your thoughts on that, really would. Okay, so now I think the dark purple is going to be the one here. It is quite dark though. I don't know how I feel about this. Offensive yellow, yes. That is a well-loved Spanish orange looking pencil. My Spanish orange. Like, let's just go back to this. Which one's the Spanish orange? This one? No, that's Spanish orange there. My Spanish orange is not well loved. This one, this is goldenrod, and that is, let me just get this right. because the Prismacolors were the first set of pencils that I had. I'm pretty sure that that is my third goldenrod pencil in 7 years. But see, I had a set, like I had one of the original set. You can see that there. See this yellowed orange pencil? That's one of the really old Prismacolors. The writing's in gold. That's when they were owned by B-Roll originally. Like that's a really, really old pencil. So that was my original set. But yeah, goldenrod gets a good going over for me, and I've been through multiples of the. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've got a spare in at the back here in this. Yeah, like I've got a new one ready to go because this one's so small. So yeah, I use a lot of goldenrod, which I don't know whether that's interesting or not, but there you go. But yeah, it's getting pretty neat, and you can see the I'm trying to zoom in on this a little bit. You can see the marks on it from where I've had it in the pencil extender. Like I'm really getting there with it. That's a thing. That is a thing. But yes, my tiny little goldenrod, bless it. It looks a bit brown rather than purple. Well, I don't know about that. It's very berry coloured though. I'm not. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Right, okay, so now we've got the, let me write this down because I'll have forgotten it in 10 minutes. That's the deep purple. Or purple, purple deep? No, dark purple, sorry. I'm thinking about music again. And our lavender, which is definitely that's definitely like a go from me. Hi April, we'll pretend you're not here, it's fine. I couldn't read it, I was going on pure vibes. I was close, okay? You were very close, you were very, very close. It's purple, but it has a touch of warm brown for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one at all. Right, okay, so here we've got now the dioxazine, which I really want to because like dark tones. Again, if I just pull this up, look like yes, but the other suggestion was the Imperial Violet, which I would say is probably closer in actual colour, you know, if I smash that down like that, but you know, contrast. Right, so the only issue we've got here is the dark purple, which I'm not happy about at all. Like not even a little bit happy. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board with that. And this is exactly why I wanted to do this part on stream, because this is a very important part of colour picking, regardless of whether it's colouring pages or your own artwork, or when you're doing something commercial like this. That sounded very professional, didn't it? You'll know what I mean. Because this has to go through the scan and print process as well. So I also see the irony in this, because there's the Prismacolor set is 150 colours and there's lots of purples in it and we can't get them. So I would just like to point out as well, there's the dark purple that I've just scribbled down, and there it is in this book, and this is what I was saying earlier about these are really, really old swatches. I don't know how to feel about this now, honestly. The faded dark purple looks great. Like it's pretty good. I'm actually thinking that this Dahlia or Dahlia purple might be the way forward. So complicated. I'm very repetitive with my words today, I apologise. But at least you're not doing it in a live stream. Right, okay, let's see what this looks like. God, this desk's a riot already and we're only 25 minutes in. Yeah, see, now hang on a little minute here. It's darker, but it's much, much closer. Oh, I might even be tempted to go lighter again. Kind of running out of options in that category here though. I think I might go with that and see how it goes. I'm just flicking back and looking at this Imperial Violet and it's too blue. I don't like it, so that's going back as well. Send it back. Want my money back. Let's try that instead of the dark purple. Hello. It is amazing. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a while. I was saying earlier on in the stream that we haven't live streamed since February, so yes, it has actually been a very long time since I even did a live stream. Right, okay, so I'm going to bin the canary. I want a cool yellow, so we're going to go with lemon yellow, lavender, and then we're going to pull in this Dahlia purple or Dahlia. The reason that I say Dahlia is because I asked my mum about this ages ago because she was a flowering plant person and she said it's Dahlia, it's not Dahlia, but I've heard loads of people say Dahlia, so I don't know. But yeah, Mama Gem. And I'm going to go with this dioxazine because it's going to give us contrast and we always want contrast. So I am ready. Lovely jubbly. Pop that up out the way. So I'm using my own picture obviously as my reference. Mary says Dahlia as well. Okay. You can't bin a canary. That's cruel. Sorry, offensive yellow. Offensive yellow. I'd stand corrected. Right, okay, so that little process there in itself, I'm hoping that was useful or helpful or interesting to someone. I've got a little bit of tidying up to do here, so I'm just going to grab my day-to-day pencil case. I've been saying this for ages, I really need to get a new kneaded eraser. It is absolutely disgusting, and the amount of pips hair that I've pulled out of this in the last like 3 months or so is revolting. But we haven't done it yet, that's fine. So I'm going to tidy up these lines a little bit and then lighten everything up with that exact motion, and then we can get in with some coloured pencils. Don't get me started on the hair. Like go back and watch the beginning when it's on replay and you'll understand. But yes, I like having like a fringy bit now because I had that before. And because my hair's quite wavy, like this part, that's it just doing things itself. Like I washed it this morning after my run and this is what happens naturally. So it sits quite well away from my face and I don't have to fiddle with it. Which is really nice. As low maintenance as possible is good for me on the day-to-day. Right, so I need to fix this R situation. Like get this into get it into a point and take that out. As much as I can. I don't want it to be, this part of the G's annoying me as well. I don't want it to be like really rigid and digital. As with all my sticker sets, I want people to be able to tell that it has been hand drawn. You know, in this age of everyone having to guess whether something's AI or not, like they're definitely not. That's better. So I do want that slight sort of offishness, but not too much that it looks wonky, if that makes sense. I can see that my H is at a slightly jaunty angle as well, which is weird. How did that happen? So let's try and straighten this bad boy up a little bit. See what we can get going. The other thing that I meant to mention as well, I'm going to have a little bit of an intermission at 4 o'clock. I am waiting on an important phone call. So if my phone rings, I will have to pause the stream and go and answer it. It's to do with my pickup truck. We have, it's away for its MOT for those of you who aren't in the UK. That's like the yearly roadworthiness test that you've got to put it through. And my truck's an old girl now. We're basically trying to squeak it through a pass this year, and it will be the last time. So I'm fully anticipating the call to say that it's failed and this is what needs done and give us £1 million, please. So if that call comes through, I need to take it. But yes, apart from that, we will be stopping at 4 o'clock-ish. Just very briefly so that I can check on my animals and make sure they are upright. Jock is slowing down very quickly now. Mr. Jem and I were just having a conversation a bit earlier on. We're having to talk about the practicalities of having a geriatric dog. And just recently we've made some decisions on what's going to happen when the time comes, so to speak. Unfortunately, whether you'll like it or not, death is a running theme for me. And having dogs, you have to be very realistic, and I would much rather have those conversations before something drastic happens. So we're chatting a wee bit about Jock today, and he's at the stage where he's only sort of in the same universe as us, maybe about 60% of the time now. The rest of the time he's away in his own wee world, but he's starting to have a lot of niggles with his hip joints and his shoulder joints. Even if he hasn't done anything strenuous, he's quite stiff, and you can see some days that he's kind of struggling. So we're very much keeping an eye on him and trying to look after him. But he's 13 and a half now, so for a working dog, especially a working dog that's done the work that he's done, all good things must come to an end. So we're just trying to keep him happy. But he's he was floating about. I don't even know where he is now. He's disappeared completely. He was with me for a wee while. I don't know where he is now. So yes, go and check on him too. Thea pronounces it Dahlia. Yeah, I know a lot of people do. Hello Gina, thank you for joining us. Jock slowed down fast. He didn't actually slow down fast. It's been very, very gradual. We retired him when he was 8 because Mr. Jem sold all the sheep, but also he had a very arthritic shoulder, and originally it was an injury. It was like a repetition injury. But again, working dogs, particularly in Scotland where it's damp and wet most of the time, you tend to see early onset arthritis in working dogs. That's the first place it's going to pop up. But he was great from then until about, I want to say, like the year before we moved here, because we've been here in this cave for 2 years. So I would say 3 years ago, and I noticed that he just wasn't so good. And then he had his AC, because he tore his ACL, if you remember. We had that whole scenario. Again, very common injury in sheepdogs, and we knew it was going to be a long recovery for him because he was a little bit older and because he's an ex-working dog. And he's just slowed down quite gradually since then. But the fact that his mind's kind of joining in now, sometimes it's funny, I'm not going to lie. He sort of sits and stares at a wall and he's absolutely oblivious to everything that's going round. And then you shout him and he kind of goes, oh, and he's like, oh, that's me. And then he looks at you as if to say, who are you? All right, okay. And then he trots along, bless him. Like, he's very sweet, he's very special. Yeah, that it is, Mary, but the thing is though as well, like, and I think some people have a problem with the fact that I'm very matter-of-fact about death a lot of the time, but living on a farm and having livestock, it is part of everyday life, and it's part of nature's cycle. So I suppose it's just how you decide to handle it. But if he says to me it feels like he had that knee surgery just yesterday, no, it's been 3 years since he's had that knee surgery. But he's still the goodest boy. Like, we still love him very much. But we have to be realistic about timescales now. So we'll see. But I just kind of have to keep a wee bit of an eye on him. But I'm at the stage now, like I always make the joke, see with working collies, they're always waiting for instruction. Like, I have to tell Jock to eat his food. He stands over the bowl and just looks at me until I say to him, well, eat your dinner then. And then he's like, okay. We're now at that stage with going for a pee as well. He'll go outside and he just stands. And he's not even looking at me anymore. He's like staring out off into the distance away, having a wee daydream. And I'm like, Jock, go for a pee. And he's like, oh, right, yeah, okay. And then he trots off and off he goes. I'm like, He's so adorable, but he's become very, very cuddly, like super cuddly. He just wants to be like held and cuddled and touched all the time. But he's on the floor. He's getting too stiff to jump up on the sofa and things now. So he just kind of like shuffles up to the edge of the chair and then puts his chin on you and goes, ooh, 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 ooh. So yeah, that's what we're doing with him. But still the goodest boy, and obviously my favourite boy. Yeah, 3 years. 2 years since this cave. To me, this is still the new cave. Well, to be fair to me, it's still the new cave as well. Yeah, so on the cave timeline, bearing in mind, we've had 3 caves altogether. So the first cave was quite short-lived. I'm just making sure I get this right in my mind. I started the channel in 2018 and it was the middle of March because it was not long after my birthday. And it was the year that I got married. We moved to the second cave in January of 2020, so just before the lockdown came in the UK. So we were less than 2 years at the first cave, and then the last cave we were there from January 2020 until June of 2023. So we were like, yeah, and we've been here since July of 2023, and this is now September 20. Yeah, so we've been here two and a bit years now. Telling you, time flies when you're having fun. I'm actually you're probably going to be like, oh god, here she goes again. When the time comes to, I need to get rid of the carpet in here, this wonderfully like early millennium blush pink carpet, or maybe even late 90s. This needs to go. It's starting to get quite worn and like threadbare, and I want to put a hard floor in here, and when I do that I'm going to change the desk setup. I'm going to get rid of this really dark wood as well. Mr. James already rolling his eyes because we've barely finished the extension. We still have problems with the washroom, like the cloakroom and the extension. It's not sorted yet, and I'm banging on about taking everything out here and ripping up the carpet. It is going to be a big job though, because there's a lot of stuff to take out this room. So Mr. James like, I don't want to hear it. Right, I'm trying to get this as light as possible without actually removing things, because I don't want a lot of this to show up, especially with the yellow pencil. So I might even like physically rub more of this out. I mean, I can take it out digitally, it's not an issue, but I like to try and do as much as possible with the actual pencils rather than the digital side of things. Now remembers the video that I did showing the painting and setup of the previous cave. Yeah, but it was January, if you remember. It was snowing. It was so cold because our old house was like a big old drafty farmhouse. I was absolutely frozen solid, and it was one of those. But that was it was a nice way to have some content while we were doing the move. Whereas here things were much easier, because although obviously we did the cave colours on this wall at the back, this room was in much better condition, and I also had a better idea of how to place things and store things, because I knew what I needed for what purpose, and I was really excited about having the packing station, which is fabulous. When it's not being used for shop orders, during the day, if Mr. Jem comes in for lunch and I'm working, I can plonk him over there because the chair is plastic as well, so he can sit in his stinky work stuff, and I can basically just wipe it down after he's gone. And it means that there's a snatch of, this little window of time that we can spend together, even though we're both busy. So I really appreciate that. When Julia was here visiting in July as well, that was her desk, and she arted over there as well, which was really nice too. So I'm very glad I've been able to do this. And this room is a lot smaller than the old cave. Like the other one was cavernous, but it had a great big high ceiling as well. It was terrible for recording and acoustics, like I hated it, and it was also terrible for light as well. So although I'm in a smaller cave now, like this is actually much better. I just want rid of the pink carpet. Thea's always got 1,000 things she wants to change. Well, let's say this has very much been a project, this house, and a lot of you will know that I'm not actually a big fan of this house, but I'm kind of growing to like it. Like slowly, it's growing on me. But it's taken a long time to feel like home, if that makes sense. Right, I'm just going to empty out this Tegal. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use my Tegal sharpener today. This one's kind of on its last legs. It's been in circulation for a while and it's not sharpening very well. My bullet sharpener, my brass bullet sharpener from M&R is probably going to be too heavy-handed for the Prismas. But we'll see how we go. So we'll get a bit sharpened on first and then we can batter down some of this colour. The actual lay down of the colour isn't going to take that long because it's Prismacolors. It's going to be, you know, like a one and done. Or maybe spend a wee bit of time on blending and go from there. So I've just got this set to a number 2. Play it safe with the old Prismas. I have had a bit of I don't know if any of you are fans of Reddit or use Reddit regularly. I love Reddit and I am on there, and I've had to step away from the coloured pencils Reddit thread. I don't know. I think I'm probably a little bit intolerant and a bit sort of like rolly eyes because it's a bit like being back on YouTube when adult colouring first became popular, like 8 years ago. Loads of people saying, oh, what brand of pencils are best? And I'm like, you can't answer that question. But something that's really riled me is this sort of like god complex about Prismacolor pencils, and it just really, because everyone's like, oh, Prismacolors are the best, and I'm like, they are not the best pencils. If you're in the US, they are very, very good pencils to have. They're great fun and they've got a great colour range, but the quality has nosedived dramatically since I first started using them regularly, and they're just really, really overpriced, and I hate how basically how like revered they are as a pencil. And I'm like, see, if you're outside the US, get yourself some Faber-Castell pencils, not even Polychromos, any of the Faber-Castell pencils, or get yourself some Derwent pencils. Like Derwent Chromaflows and Colour Softs are a perfectly acceptable alternative to these, and some of them are much more light fast and just a much better build quality. Anyway, rant over. But I got so fed up with it, and I'm like, I'm sick of listening to this. Like, I really, really am. Prismacolors, they're fun, they're great, but they are not the like be all and end all of pencils. Miri's on a number of different Reddit communities, never joined the colouring one. It's not the colouring one, it's specifically the coloured pencils one, which is supposed to cover, you know, like adult colouring. Basically, as long as it involves coloured pencils, you can post there. But I'm over it. Like, I'm seriously over it. Prismas are utter crap these days. They're just cheap in the USA. But that's why though, because they give like an instant result. Like, you can smash down the colour and it's right there. You get instant satisfaction from them. But the build quality is terrible now. Like, it really, really is. But I think they're a perfect fit for modern society in that sense, because we now live in an age of instant gratification. But maybe that's just me. Also, in my we're getting all the pencil opinions now. I love this. This is why I mentioned this. It's really important to me to get other people's perspectives as well, because I don't want to become like my own little echo chamber, you know. Prismas work for people who just want to slap colour down. Well, I think we all get times like that though, do we not? Probably talking about from a US perspective, but this is the thing though, Danny, and I always say that if you're in the US, they are a contender. But what people forget is they behave very differently to most other pencil brands and most other pencil makeups. Like, if you go for, like me, I went from Crayola's and W.H. Smith, which is a UK stationer. I went from very traditional pencil makeups to having this set of be-all Prismacolors, and they behave so differently, and I didn't like them to start with. I'm like, is this actually a coloured pencil? And people kind of forget that as well. Hi, Mona. Thank you. I got a number of people commenting on my hair. Thank you. Once you're done, Mona, and the replay is up, go back to the very start of the stream and I explain a little bit about my hair situation, but thank you. Daddy is here as well. Hello, Daddy. How are you? I was thinking about you the other day. I hope you're doing well. You're never late. There's no such thing as being late to a stream. This is like a drop-in centre. Whenever the question is what is the best, usually the answer should start with depends. Well, it does. I've actually got like a copy and paste answer that I use for that now across every social media platform. The only Derwent pencil that Danny can find somewhat easily is the Colour Soft. I'm right in saying that you're in the US, Danny, is that correct? Danny's now number 2. Like, are you seeing all these purple rankings? Danny and Thea. Who's number 3? This has no relevance to anything, but I think it's just funny. Oh, Rika's number 3. Mona's like, I will watch back. Okay. Right, let's start with the light bulb. I want to start with these yellows specifically because I want to take away the graphite completely. I'm going to get a harder eraser for this. I've got one of these, I know, the question is, where the hell is it? I thought it was in this pencil case. I've got a wee bit, I think I need to have a clean out in here. There's a wee bit too much going on for my liking. I've got one of these little Tombow Mono zero erasers. I've got 2 of these. I've got a black one that's got like a round end on it, but I really like this rectangular one for stuff like this because you can be, you know, you can use the very edge, the very corner, and it's extremely precise. So, and because it's a bit of a firmer eraser, I always feel sometimes with the kneaded erasers they're a bit sort of flappy, a bit sort of wishy-washy, whereas this is like, I'm going to erase this very, very part here. So I'm just going to take away one side at a time because I don't want to lose that spherical shape. I'm also going to zoom right in. Wait till the autofocus sorts it. It's got nothing to focus on. Come on, autofocus, you can do it. I think that's probably the best I'm going to get. Oh. The autofocus has a better time with darker colours as well, so I'll probably adjust it once we start using the purples. But yeah, I don't want to lose this spherical shape too much. But I do want to take away as much of that graphite as I can. As I say, I will tidy it up. I'll probably tidy it up in Procreate. That's what I normally do now. But let's just get that really. Oh yes, lovely. I don't know what I'm going to do about colouring in the top part of the light bulb, but honestly I'm going to worry about that later. Compares to prismas and polys when people ask which are best. Yeah. When I got a small size of prismas, I was very confused as well. Everyone said it was so great, but I didn't like it. So it's really about personal preference and application. Well, the original prismas that I had, they were leftover pencils that I inherited. So they were the be-all ones. And there was only like a smattering of them. And the first modern set of prismas, my mum actually bought me them, and it was the 48 set. So Sanford still owned Prismacolor at that point. They weren't be-all anymore, but Sanford owned them, and I got that 48 set, and it was brought over from the States, and I was just so confused. I was like, I don't really know what to do with these. The ones that have arrived to me post manufacturing moving to Mexico, which I think was about 2018 or 19, I might be wrong, but there or thereabouts, and that was when the build quality, like the actual manufacturing quality, just started to slide, and I think that was around the time that Sanford sold off Prismacolor. Again, I might be wrong. I might just be not making that up, but I might have that a little bit confused, but I'm pretty sure that was all kind of tied in together. The thing is, though, I don't hate Prismacolors, like I really don't. I just feel that in the UK they're a bit of a false economy and they're not as wonderful as people make them out to be. Yeah, Danny is in the States and in a city with a pretty wide swath of art stores as well. Interesting. Yana uses multiple layers with Prismas and do light layers to get the blend. Yeah, well that you can't. That's the thing. You can do that with You can do that with them, but you don't have to. And I think that's one of the nice things about Prismas. Mary loves the Tombow monos. Ulrika's never used Prismas. To be fair, Ulrika, seeing your unique situation, Prismas might actually be beneficial to you because it's a softer pencil. You don't need as much pressure, ergo less stress on the joints. So I don't know, that might be worth a tickle just for fun. Why not? Join us on the dark. I mean, Coral Pencil side, we have cookies. Maxie says from one of the videos she got a set of the Castle Arts Golds and from a more affordable pencil here in the UK. I actually really like them, and I'm at the stage where with those pencils, I'm a run out of pencils, and I would really like to have them open stock. And I'm sad that I can't get that. So what I have started to do, and it's the first time I've had to do it with a set of mid-range pencils, I've had to start looking for the closest colour match in other pencil brands so that I can, I've got an alternative basically. But I really, really like the Castle Arts Golds. I would say I quite like the Arteza pencils, but something I've learned about myself over the years is I just prefer an oil-based pencil. So the Castle Arts Gold, they definitely like 100% float my boat. So, but they are a very affordable pencil set, and I find that the colour distribution is pretty good as well, in terms of variety in the different colour categories. There's a few gaps. For me, the main thing that's missing from that set is a dark indigo. The indigo that's in that set's quite pale. And it sort of looks like it kind of looks like my hair. It's like a washed out greyish blue. That's a very personal thing to me though, because I am very partial to a really deep moody indigo. But aside from that, I find it a very, very good set of pencils and very well balanced. And I would recommend those to anyone who want to become like a little bit more adventurous without, going crazy and going into artist grade pencils. So I'm really glad that you've gone down that route, because I'm a big advocate for those pencils. Yana's cousin gave her the full set of Be All Sanford pencils for News Architecture School. I had no idea how excited you were. Oh. They're at least 35. Yeah, the ones I had were they were like vintage, but like myself. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go like jumping, going crazy, Ulrika. But see if you'd like to try a few. I have, that when I'm trying to get stuff for the cave, I sort of scour like house clearances and things. I've got a few shorter Prismacolors that that are just sitting as spares. I see if you want to try a couple out, let me know, because I'll send them down to you and you can just try them out and see how you feel. It is a very different experience if you're not used to super soft pencils though, so if you want to do that, just drop me a line, Ulrika, let me know, because I'd be happy to do that for you. Yeah, the Derwent Colour Soft and Chroma Flow, that's the two. Spoiler alert, but going back to the light fastness testing, Prismas didn't do all that well. Of course they didn't now. It's been known for a long time that Prismacolors aren't as light fast as people think they are. Oh. That was I thought that was the garage getting hold of me. It's my sister-in-law. she can wait. Oh dear. They're too soft, almost like Thea's struggling with Englishing today. That's okay, Thea. I would like to say as well, and I'm sure Thea won't mind me mentioning this, but Thea is quite active in the chat here. English is not Thea's first language, and a lot of people are really surprised by that, and so they should be, because our English is freaking amazing. So we will allow you to use wrong words every now and then. It's absolutely okay, Thea. Daria's old set of 48 Prismas were put out by B-Roll. Purchased several others, but only in the colours that I really like, or the colours that you use up, Daria. Like, I'm trying to think of what was it called? False green? I love how Thea's given me like a 5-minute warning for my intermission as well. Thanks, Thea. Just as well I've got her here to babysit me. Yep, no problem, Ulrika. We'll get that sorted for you. It's language in general. No, it's not. Right, okay, so I've got, according to my clock, I've got 4 minutes. So let me put in some more of this yellow. I'm absolutely and utterly, completely unbothered that I've not done a lot of arting in this first hour. Just chatting to you guys, and the fact that we're talking about pencils and stuff is like, that's all I need right now. I don't know if it's what you guys need, but it's what I need. So again, on these edges, just with the yellow, try and take away a bit more. I say I'm not super precious about this because I can edit it out digitally. I am so hoarse. My tea is absolutely stone cold now. It's not worth drinking, but I'm gonna go for it. Thea always has to make sure everyone's okay. That's why we love you, Thea. Like, you're so sweet. I just thought to play alarm clock. Miri's sure she's got a set of 24 Prismas somewhere. Yeah. Look at all the Prisma love you're getting, Ulrika. I know, look at Thea looking after everybody. She's a sweetheart, that's why we love her. Okay, so this side of the U is directly under the light source, so let's just get away with that line completely. It's actually really nice having a like a full-size Prismacolor. That doesn't happen very often. We'll get that down there, that's going to go down there. I'll give you all a giggle as well. The tighter circle that are present on Discord already know this. I started this year's, I've been commissioned to do the Village Christmas card again this year, and I started sketches on that nearly 3 weeks ago now, so I started sketching Christmas scenes in September. Oh. You're never too much. Can we have some pink udder hands for Thea, please, just for being an absolute sweetheart? I'm getting a 1 minute warning from Jan. Jan's not getting pink udder hands. The pink udder hands are for Thea. Jan's just in here to stir the pot. Oh, you're making my eyes all watery. Some of us need looking after, yeah. Yeah, there we go, pink underhands for Thea. I'm getting into trouble from Danny as well for the tea. It's not even tepid, it's like, it's stone cold, Danny, honestly. Oh, there you go, Thea. See? I mean, I do need looking after sometimes, to be fair. In streams, like, no one's going to die if we go a minute or two over, but I appreciate you very, very much. And everyone else appreciates you too, clearly. I'm looking at all the pink under hands in the chat. Jan, I'm going to kick you out if you carry on. Right, let me just finish this offensive yellow stuff, and then I'll disappear for a minute or two. I can hear some movement. I don't know whether it's Pip or Jock, though. This is the problem. But yeah, I had a wee bit of this. Like, I'm kind of prepared for this. I don't know how many of you have had very elderly dogs. But having Woo, the Jack Russell, who we had her put to sleep when she was 17, I'm quite used to looking after geriatric dogs, but it's kind of like you do a lot of babysitting, you know, you get to that point, and you become hyper vigilant if everything goes. It's a bit like having a toddler, you know, if you've got a toddler and everything's really, really quiet and you're like suspiciously quiet, like what's happened or what have they gotten into. I'm kind of at that stage with Jock. Right, okay, so but at least we've got the offensive yellow done. More pink on her hands. Yay! Yay! Right, I'm just going to take... Yana, I'm not disappearing completely. I'm just taking a wee quick break. I am going to go and sort out the dogs, etc. I might take a bathroom break as well, because I know that you all needed to know that. I'll be back just shortly, and then we'll chat about what we're going to do for the second hour, and we'll maybe have a wee vote on it. So, as always, as tradition, and it's been such a long time, talk amongst yourselves and tell each other what you're making for dinner or your next meal, because that's what you like to do. And I'll be back in just a wee jiffy. Okay, glad to be back. I just had a little sort of glance at the chat there. All I saw was hot as balls. Even if it's hot as balls. Oh, that's funny. And I'm glad that you're all talking about food. We as always in this household when I'm live streaming, I am solely responsible for foodie things. So simple dinners when it comes to a Wednesday evening. We are having chicken burgers this evening, chicken quarter pounders with some French fries. Not something that we would eat very often. We tend, I tend to cook from scratch. But on a Wednesday night, it's usually pizza or something like that. So that's good. I am incredibly proud of the fact that I made honey and garlic beef in the slow cooker yesterday. I'm starting to get into more autumn recipes, stuff that's a little bit kind of stodgier. Doing things in the slow cooker is great for me because when Mr. Jem ends up outside for 16 million extra hours, it's something that can stay there and it's warm and he can just plate it up for himself when he comes in. So that honey and garlic beef turned out amazing last night. You know what it's like, if for any of you that cook, when you try a new recipe for the first time, it's probably not going to be right the first time and you might have to tweak it. It was absolutely perfect. So I was incredibly happy about that last night. Tonight a little bit simpler though. Yeah, puppy. That was Jock coming back in. When Jock goes outside now, he's also at the stage where he has to be supervised because sometimes he goes outside and it's as if he forgets why he's outside and you've got to kind of encourage him along, and then sometimes he just sits down where he is and you're wondering where he is and you can't find him and you have to go and find him. So anyway, all is well. All is well. Yeah, you love fall cooking. Yeah, I'm getting into, well, that's kind of what we do best here, to be fair. Like we do a lot of, not necessarily, I hate the term stodgy, but it is the most accurate term, like really sort of like hearty and filling meals because Mr. Jem obviously has a very physical job and a lot of the time it's wet and miserable here. So yeah, we do a lot of that. We do a lot of that. You can tell you used to do chefing, plating up a meal, not just plopping it on a plate. Yes, absolutely. I do have standards, Jan, thank you. I was teaching a friend recently the difference between all the different cuts when you're slicing vegetables. Obviously, as a trained chef, we use the French terminology, but my friend said to me, what the hell is a julienne? So I had to show her. But yeah, it's fine. Right, there's my phone going, guys. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, truck is not good news. I knew it wouldn't be though. Our truck's an old girl now. She's a 2016. And we were kind of hoping to squeeze another year out it. We need work done to pass the MOT, which is fine. It was entirely expected, but I'm not looking forward to the bill for this. It's like, oh, okay. Oh. Never mind, it's fine, it'll be okay. Right, okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do. It's now 4:20, so I will commit to my next hour. My question to you all is what you want to do for the next hour. Do you want to continue on with the Prismacolors and smashing down some colour? The other options that I have, let me just zoom out a little bit and go and get them for you. Right, this one's a really funny one, and one particular person in the chat, if they're still here, is going to laugh. I have this very curious bit of cardboard, and this is just like screaming out to me to be coloured with Poscas. And like, I can't not do something with this, and I've had this sitting beside me for a long time. Like, I've got a section of the desks that's things that I want to do that aren't necessarily work in progresses, but something that I might quite like to do. So do we start colouring with Poscas? Or the other thing that I've got here, and it's something that I've not touched for a wee while, and some of you may have seen it, and it's a bit of a curveball, is I've got this little 3D sticker scene book going on. Do you want me to have a go at one of these? I know this is a little bit sort of left field, but I just wanted to give you options if you don't want to see the same old pencil stuff or colouring stuff. The one that we've got is a fragrant breeze restaurant, so it's like bunnies in some sort of maybe Chinese restaurant kind of thing. So those are the options, and I've got my get out from under there. Oh, deathly sharp tweezers. I probably shouldn't be in possession of a set of these on account of having a really unpredictable hand. They are super jaggy, and I've poked myself loads of times, but they are really good for these kinds of things. So I think I'll just pop a wee poll up. I don't even know if I can remember how to do this, but I'll pop a poll up and you can let me know what you're thinking, and we shall go from there. Ask a question. What to do? Carry on with a light source. Posca colouring with a U. Or stickers. Stitchers? No. Stickers. Right, I'll give you a moment or two to do what you're doing with that. Oh, who dis? Who dis? Oh, Jan for the truck fund. Oh, Jan, thank you so much. Like, you didn't have to do that. That's really funny, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yeah, that's the problem with having a pickup is that obviously it's quite a big vehicle in comparison to a car, and because it's classed as a commercial vehicle, things tend to get pretty expensive pretty quickly. I did have an inkling though, because I've not got much in the way of brakes on it, so I kind of thought I might fail on the brakes. But yeah, we should really have gotten rid of that truck. I mean, it's still in fairly good condition overall. It's just an older truck, but we were planning to get rid of it like this time last year, and because my mum wasn't well, we kind of just put it off. It's like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's my truck. It's me that drives about in it, and I don't do a lot of miles, but when I do miles, it tends to be long journeys, like going to the West Coast from the East Coast, or going to Ireland, or going down to England. So although it doesn't get used very often, it needs to be reliable. But it was just like, oh, you know, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. But we're at the point now where, so hopefully we can get it through its MOT, its yearly safety test. But I think we might have to palm it off to somebody that maybe needs it on a farm, you know, for bumping over fields or, you know, like rattling around a yard or something. I think we're at that point now. We shall see. Ulrika's still got the rest of that cardboard and she's not figured out what to do with it. It was Ulrika that gave me the cardboard. Let's go with the curveball, right? Oh, all the Posca colouring's up there. How would I vote? Well, this is the thing. I have this discussion with Mr. Jem quite a lot. See, when I present options, it's because I'm neutral. So the options that I present are things that I want to do. But if I don't have a preference among maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, possibly a bit of neurospicy involved in that, that's why I do it, because I would be happy with any of the outcomes. And that's why I do it so often on the channel, honestly. The breaks always help. Yeah, breaks are good. We like breaks. But the thing is, Thea, that there's a lot of hilly areas and quite steep ones at that round here, so breaks are kind of important. Jan says, a bit worried now if you're coming down to me if you have no breaks. I'll definitely have breaks by the time I come to you. I can guarantee that. I wouldn't. It's different. Like, see, just toddling down to the village, which is downhill from here. It's a bit different doing that. That's only like 2 and a bit miles. Versus driving like 100 and odd miles anywhere else. I'm going to go. Okay, it looks like we're going to go with the Posca situation. Posca, which I love personally. I'm right into like I eyeball this more or less daily because, as I say, it's like I need visual cues. Again, neurospicy, out of sight, out of mind. If something's sitting in front of me, I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to do that. And I literally, like, you can see the washi tape still on it where Ulrika had packaged up what it was she sent me, and I opened it up and I was like, oh. Isn't that just a nice something to chuck in? Right, let's go for it. Let's get tidied up. Let me just end this poll. Oh, that's funny. What I will do is, though, the other options I will keep for another live stream, and we can maybe go back to that. But this is a really good start for me, and this is something that I can maybe continue on with. See, because I've got the framework, this is something that I can now just, again, leave sitting somewhere where it's visual, you know, for me on a regular basis. And the next time I might just pick up the lavender and do the lavender bits. So this has been really helpful for me today, but I've quite enjoyed the conversation about Prismacolors, etc. So I'll just pop that out the way just now. I'm just going to grab my Poscas because they are in a massive big plastic carry holder thing, which is also yellow, by the way. I can see a theme coming here. Just bear with me one moment. One of these bad boys. The reason that it's in one of these is because I use my Poscas for doing window displays, so I have to have something that I can carry out. So that is like my complete window outdoor kit. There's rags and everything in there. Obviously we don't need that part of it for doing this. It's a bit overkill. I'm thinking because of the size of the spaces, I will go for the smaller ones. Like I'm not gonna need this bad boy. I'm not going to need a 17k for doing stuff like that. So I do mostly have them sectioned off in sizes. So I'm going to pick out some of the smaller ones. So maybe the 5M, 3M and smaller. So let's just dump some of these out. Ooh. I will have to give most of these a good shake. I haven't used my Poscas much in this last, you know, especially in the time that I've had off. I'm going to pull them out the box though, because see that noise? That's going to get really annoying real quick. Real quick. So please excuse me for just one moment. I do have a couple of the yeah, so these One for All markers, the Molotov markers, I've got quite a few of them and I actually really like them. So they're kind of in the mix as well. Shh. I foresee us using a lot of different colours here though, so I don't I don't know if I want to pull out the, yeah. I've got some of the 5Ms in here. I think these are going to be too big for those spaces. Yeah, probably. Let me just pick through this. There you go. Yeah, right, okay. So, not like we have a problem for a variety here. Oh, sorry, Joe. Ooh. Thea says the visual cue thing I've been really noticing lately, if it's not visible, it doesn't exist. Yep. Like the apples I cut up nicely and put in the fridge. Yeah, that is a thick pen. That's a thick pen. It's really good though, because well, most of the window displays that I've done have been winter scenes, so whites, you know, if you're doing like expanses of snow or whatever, that's what you need. Right, okay, and I know exactly where I'm starting here, and it's this lollipop right here, and I want like a pinky colour, so I've got a really nice colour here. It's not in English, which is unfortunate, but I am literally going to have to shake all of these, so I'll do it way back here. This looks a bit odd, I'm terribly sorry. Just so that we can get going. But the other thing I usually do is I usually have a scrap of paper. I'm just going to use this Bristol vellum. I'll just use that to get the colours going and see what we can do. Right. Because see, a lot of these have been sitting dormant for a while. Ooh, perfect. And off we go. Yes. I want to try and keep within the line work. I don't know how well I'm going to do that, because I feel this is going to have, obviously using Poscas, I feel as if it's going to have quite a sort of cartoonish look about it. When you're working on surfaces like this is quite thick cardboard, I find that the best thing to do is to use strokes that run mostly in the same direction, because it stops you tearing up, and there it's happened already. I don't know if you can see that or not. It does tear up the nib of your pens quite quickly. See if you use that like scrubbing motion, so we don't want that. So nice gentle strokes. I'm already outside the lines. I've only been at it for 20 seconds, but yeah, let's go for that. Again, I'm wondering how much I can get zoomed in here. The closer I get with the actual focus, the more the colours seem to be true to what's going on. This is pinkier, like this is kind of washed out looking. I just want to try this as well. Bear with me, people. Oh! For that split second when I turned that overhead light off, you saw the actual colour it is. But once again, the auto correction, like see the white balance on this camera, it's got a mind of its own. But let's go for this sort of ambient darkness. I want a kind of like wood colour for the stick. I don't want a really dark brown though. Where are we going to go with this? Let's try. Now Thea's hungry. Pizza, popcorn, coffee to go. I know. Some of you will know I've got a mild nut allergy. One of the other things I can't eat is popcorn. And from what we've gathered, it's very uncommon. It's something to do with the enzyme that's released when the corn actually pops. It's not the corn itself, because I can eat sweet corn. Can't eat popcorn, makes me really freaking itchy, and it's horrible and I hate it. Because one of the things, like see when you go to the cinema, see the smell of popcorn, oh, I love it so much, it's so good. So good. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to try and stay away. I'm not going to work adjacent because I want to give it time to dry, so I'm going to come down to one of these other, let's grab the popcorn. So I want a kind of like creamy yellowy white colour. I've got this Molotov mark on, this is an Amsterdam one. Naples Yellow Deep, let's try that chic as well. Is that a sparkly purple there? Yeah, this one. Yes, it is. It is sparkly. I've got quite a few sparkly ones. Let me dig them out for you and you can see them. So this blue is absolutely lush. I love it. That's really good for Christmas ornaments. Again, see when I'm doing my window displays, this is a go-to. And this stands out really well against whites and, you know, the traditional sort of red and green colours. I did have a full set once, but I've used quite a lot of them up now. We've got a green that's also sparkly. These are not the same as metallic ones. This is, you know, it does actually have a sparkle in it. There's another one. There we go. There's a set of, I think it was a set of 7 or 8 at one point. But that's what we've got left, and they've got a really nice sparkle to them. You don't see it properly until it dries, so I will be sure to incorporate that in something in here for your satisfaction, Madame Saurus. Yeah, no, I can't eat popcorn. Well, the thing is that it's not something I ever ate particularly often or was particularly fixated on, so I don't miss it that often, honestly. Because I always say, like, it's kind of strange. I've had a lot of allergies over my lifetime, and apparently I'm just a person that has, like, an allergy gene. But it's a bit like, the way the doctor described it to me, it's a bit like a snake shedding its skin. That humans do the equivalent of that roughly every 7 years, and your allergies can change, and it's usually roughly on that timeline. So I was born with asthma. I had childhood asthma. By the time I was 13, I was running track, I was playing volleyball, and I was playing hockey, and I didn't need an inhaler. I had grown out of it. But I then developed hay fever, really bad eczema or eczema, like itchy skin. And it was quite severe for a number of years. So it's kind of gone from there. I developed my nut allergy at about 24, and it came around roughly the same time as getting prickly heat. Which is ironic considering I've got Italian heritage, but I found out because I was working outside. I was a farm labourer by that point, so I was spending a lot of time outside. Unfortunately, the nut allergy hasn't gone away. Popcorn's one of them. I'm also very, very allergic to pampas grass, the ornamental plant. It makes me sneeze like hell and makes me so itchy. Obviously, I've never tried to eat it. I don't know if that's a thing. But but I seem to be kind of like stuck with those things. I've had those for like maybe 10, 15, coming closer to 20 years now. But the nut thing, I'm not willing to take the risk to see if it's gone away or not. I would have to go for like another full tolerance test, which the NHS is stressed and stretched anyway. I wouldn't bother. So I just tend to steer clear of them. But as a youngster, long before I had this nut allergy, I was never particularly fond of things like peanut butter or Snickers. Snickers were abhorrent to me. Like, why would you want to eat that? And I find it kind of funny that I can't eat those things now, and I never really liked them anyway. So it's not a big deal. The main thing for me is when we eat out, I tend to stay away from baked goods because a lot of baked goods have nut derivatives in them. And to be fair, like, my nut allergy is mild. I'm okay with like cross contamination. I would have to physically ingest nuts for it to be a problem, or to touch them and specifically touch my face, because this is where the problem starts. My throat feels tight, but I come up in like hives, and it's often down the side of my face, my neck, or seeing like the delicate parts of my arm, like seeing the crook of my elbow, your elbow, things like that. And I just, like, it's not worth it because I don't really like nuts. So the popcorn thing, that's probably the worst part, but I think it's more the smell than anything, because popcorn is something that I've never eaten like on a regular basis, so it just kind of doesn't bother me anyway. It's just like an inconvenience more than anything else. But it's quite funny when you go to a restaurant and when you put in your order in, and there might be something on the menu, and I just double check to make sure there's no nuts in it. And the minute you say you've got a nut allergy, and I always make sure I say it's a mild nut allergy, like, don't panic. And you can just see the expression on their face. They're like, oh no. And I'm like, no, it's not that bad. Like, just don't put like cashews in my dinner or anything. Everything will be fine. So yeah, more a minor convenience than anything. But I can't imagine, like, I would be so much more distressed if I was allergic to something like bacon. Hi Black Rose, how you doing? You can avoid the food stuff. Luckily, my mum's allergic to lots of metals, nickel, cobalt, palladium, and the first ones are using almost. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, people are like, oh, it must be terrible, and I'm like, honestly, it's not that bad. It's very sort of anticlimactic, and I try and remind people of that. I remember my sister-in-law, and this was way back, so this is Mr. Jem's youngest sister. She worked in a restaurant at one point back at home for Mr. Jem's family in the south of Ireland, and she organised a table for us, and it's this little beachfront restaurant. It was lovely, and she made us shots, and I took a sip of it, and I was like, that tastes a bit nutty, and it turns out she'd used hazelnut syrup in it, and she instantly went into like a complete panic. And I said to her, I was like, first things first, this is like, see these syrups, like they've been wafted past a walnut like 3 weeks before they were bottled, like don't panic. But if this happens, as long as I can get back home, which was to Mr. Jem's parents' house, I've got really strong like prescription antihistamines that I can take, and it'll bring it down to a point where I can cope with it. But like we hadn't been together all that long at that point, and I could just see the panic in Mr. Jem's sister's face. She's like, oh my god, I've just killed my brother's new girlfriend. It was actually quite like, I found it funny, but I can understand why she didn't find it funny at all. But it was mildly amusing, which ties in with my mild nut allergy. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Rika doesn't like the taste of peanuts. The only nut that I miss is pistachios. I used to like to sit with a bowl of pistachios and shell them. I think that was more like the process than actually eating them that was the thing, though. I don't know. Walnuts, not so much. Yeah, I feel really sorry for her, and she's so sweet as well. Like, she's such a nice person, and she was genuinely panicking, and I was like, don't panic yet. The reaction is usually quite quick as well. Like if I've touched something, because one of the things that happens sometimes is if Mr. Jem has something with nuts in, Mr. Jem has a beard. So if I kiss him, I've literally got mouth to mouth contact with an area that's been in contact with nuts. Or if he eats something and touches his face and then touches my face, like that, it usually shows up within about 10 minutes, and I know, and I'm like, what have you been eating? But we're very lucky generally. I'm going to carry on with this little popcorn bucket here, I think. I want to get the red and yellow stripes in, because that's like the tradition. So let me find I've got a really nice, this is quite a deep red in the Poscas. Oh no, wait a minute, maybe this red. This one. The one that I'm going to have to take my watch off as well. See, when I shake my wrist like that, it registers as steps, which is completely inaccurate. So I'm going to take this off and sit it a second. I've still got a bit of a stripe. Not much, but I've still got a bit of a stripe. That's a great plot for a murder story. Okay, Jan. Right, let's get there we go. Let's get some stripes on the go. Oh yeah. Managed to stay inside the lines this time. To be fair, this is one of the little weenie ones. This is the 1M, so it's got quite a small nib on it, so that makes things substantially easier. So good. This is really satisfying. Like, I've been dying to do this for ages. Ages. Oh, donut. Oh, I've gone out. See, that serves me right for opening my mouth. Gone outside the lines. There we go. This top rim here, again, in my sort of retro mind, these are like the proper old-fashioned popcorn buckets that... Oh god, dropping things now. Sorry, Jock's down beside me in his orthopaedic bed, which is where he should be. These popcorn buckets, they used to be made out of like cardboard. The insides were white, and that was the part that like rolled over, so I'm going to make that white, but these lines in between I'm going to make yellow. The watch is all excited about the speed you're going. To be fair, it's not such a big deal because I went for a run this morning. I have balls. I'm in the wrong place. I was too busy talking. I have my watch set to adjust my step count target so that it's like an average, because the days where I'm working most of the day, I mean, I spend like 10 or 12 hours in this chair just facing in various directions. But the days that I run and then the days that I don't work my proper job, I'm much more active. So there's quite a big disparity between an active day and a non-active day. So I've got it set to an average. So today I've long exceeded my actual step count target because I went for quite a long run this morning. So it's better for me just to take it off and not artificially inflate my step count more than it already is. I'm averaging out though about 12,000 steps a day for someone who spends at least 8 hours a day in this chair. I think that's fairly good. I'm quite happy with that. So, but yeah, just take it off just now. I've noticed it as well. Like, see when I'm cooking, see if I'm like things like risotto where you're having to stir all the time. I look down at my wrist and I'm like, this thinks I've done like an extra like 1,000 steps. Where did that come from? And it's just because I'm stirring vigorously. It's like, okay, no, stop doing that. It's funny though, it makes me laugh. Hello Martine, how are you? Yeah, I think everyone's good. Like, we're all doing quite well today, apart from my toothache, which I am self-medicating, and obviously this Jack Daniels is for medicinal purposes only. Daria says her sister's watch told her it looks like you've taken a fall when she was waving her arms about while watching a football game. Martine's just in from art club at Dunblane. I'm in Glasgow. It's a good, yeah. I was going to say, that's a bit of a trek from Glasgow. Jeez. Worth it. Okay, glad it was worth it. That's good. Theo once had an allergy test done and they wrote in the results, we recommend getting rid of the cat. Oh, that's funny. Danny found a metal hair clip that's a paint palette and feel like I had to share that with like-minded people who can proper appreciate it. I've got no one else to tell. That sounds amazing. Like, I need to know more about this. Oh, Jan's turning off the company laptop. It's fun time. That's funny. Stop it, Jock. Jock was having a wee like half-hearted scratch there. Do you know what I've just realised? I don't actually have... Oh, I do. I'm talking rubbish. I was going to say, I've got a lemon yellow, but I didn't have a canary yellow, but I do. Tell them lies. I'm really interested in this palette stroke hair clip. Is it a skateboard? No, it's just a bit of cardboard. Ulrika had sent me something in the mail, Martine, and she'd wrapped it up in this, like you can see the washi tape there. And when I turned it over, I was like, oh, and I kept it because I really want it. Like, this is screaming out to be coloured. So that's why we're here, just so you know. It is just a scrap of cardboard. Oh, what is... I've got a dirty nib. Good grief. Look at that. Better clean this. Oh, that's better. I wonder what I was doing with that. I don't remember doing that. It's horrible. Right, okay. Let's try and rectify this issue here when I went the wrong way with the wrong pen. Oh yeah. Super duper. I don't know why, guys, honestly. This is just, it's so satisfying. Like, it really is. I think part of it is because it's mid-tone, see, because it's cardboard. It just makes it so much better. Yeah. So I want to pop a little bit of a darker colour on the popcorn, like I want to give it some dimension. I think I'm going to go for this brown colour that I was using earlier, and I'm going to have to tilt this so I don't dip my hand in the wet bit. But like, see if we just So sticking to the sort of bottom right corner. I don't want to make them look like chicken nuggets or anything. But I just feel like that might just add a little bit of something to what's going on. Yes. Right, I'm going to come back up here. I don't want this to be white, like see the sort of drizzle that's coming down. But I've got quite a few sort of more beigey colours. So this one here, what's this one called? It's called beige, unsurprisingly. Okay, good shout. Glad we got there. Oh. Patty, what were you eating? Please tell me it wasn't something tomato based like bolognese. Is it something that's going to come out of your clothes easily and not stain? There's nothing worse when you upend. I'm very familiar with that, again, having a really unpredictable hand. Things are always going flying. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, right, lovely. Let's move on to, I kind of want to go for this little pizza slice here as well, and then maybe down to this cup here. So maybe I want to go back to this colour, which was this little Amsterdam acrylic marker, because I feel like that is like dough colour. If ever there was dough colour, that was it there. So let's pop that in there, and then I'm going to use the darker. That was the red that I used on the popcorn box, so I'm going to pick out this darker one. Posca do like a themed set of, they call it darks, and it is still like, it's like not exotic colours, it's just darker versions. I'm kind of scouting about to see if I can find another one. Yeah, so there's another one that comes that says that's like red wine colour. So it kind of deviates from their more traditional, like vibrant, bright colours. So, and I've found them quite helpful generally. Like, look at that, and you can see it. You can see the comparison to the standard, you know, like the primary red. And it's really nice, especially if you don't go for that sort of cartoonish, like brash artwork style, or maybe like graffiti or street art style. You can do so much more if you've got these colours. One of the other colours in this set is this really nice olive colour, which obviously appeals to me. That came in the same set, and that is lush. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, let's work our way around here. So we've got a really nice tomato base. I don't know what, I think this might be like a blob of melted cheese on this right hand side here, but maybe all of it's melted cheese, who knows. Pop that in there. Again, we'll just let that breathe a little bit. Let's have a purple straw. I'm in the mood. Let's have a purple sparkly straw just for Thea. It wasn't too hot. Patty blames the leaf. Seems like it would be hard to paint the cup after the pizza without putting your hand away at painting. Okay, I just want to make sure that the purple sparkly is sparkly, and yeah. Right, so this is going to be difficult though, because it's in a crease. And also I've got the creases of the actual straw, but I am going to do my bestest here. Full concentration. Right, I don't think I'm going to be able to save the line work here. You just have to trust the corrugation in the straws there. I would really like to hear, oh no, Mayday. I would really like to hear in the chat what you guys are working on if you've got your work in progress. Can I just point out how sparkly that is though? If you're sitting doing stuff of your own, or whether you're just chilling out. Good grief. Thank goodness that Poscas are opaque. Look at the sparkle, Thea, it's so pretty. Again, not panicking about that at all. We'll be able to fix that as long as we've got the bulk of it off. Goodness me. Looks like a unicorn's farted on my artwork. Yeah, so please tell me what you're working on. I would love to hear it as well. Patty's just doodling. Would you like a bit of doodling? Yeah, guys, don't panic about that. We might have a little bit of a sparkly undertone with whatever we put on top of it, but I promise you it'll be okay. Like, that is nothing to be concerned about. It just didn't really want to happen in the first place, but we're used to that. Like, come on. You're in the cave. Like, you know you get absolutely no professionalism from me at all by now. And if you don't know that, what are you doing here? Mary's WIP's actually a book review. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I am a reader. I do like to read. Unfortunately, the book I'm reading just now, I'm not really enjoying. But I am a person that once I start a book, I have to, like, I've basically just got to see it through. So I'm surviving through the book that I'm reading is the best way that I can describe it just now. And I'm only about halfway through. It's been a long time since I've had a stinker, though, to be fair. It's not even that it's a stinker, it's just it's not holding my interest. And I am a person that reads before bed, so when I start reading, usually I'm moderately too tired. And I'll maybe only read like a chapter or two at a time, depending on the length of the chapters. So if something doesn't hold my interest, then it might be a case of, you know, it takes quite a long time to get through a book. But it took me to like chapter 6 in the book that I'm reading. So that was maybe like, I want to say 50 or 60 pages in before I was really convinced that it really wasn't holding my attention that well. But I'm now too deep in to abort it, so I'm going to continue to read it. But yeah, it's a slow process. It's not terrible, but it's just not. It's not. I think part of the problem with this particular book, I'm not going to name and shame because books are like art; they're very subjective. But I just don't feel as if the story is holding my interest. It's quite political, which wouldn't be my first genre choice for bedtime reading. But there's a lot of characters that were introduced together. And there's not, like, there's not strong enough character development for all of those characters. So the ones that are kind of on the periphery, I'm like, who are you again? Like, what's happening? Whereas there's like 2 or 3 main characters and I'm like, well, I know who you are and it makes sense that you've made that choice. So, like, I have to have strong character plot to want to, like, be really invested in a story, and I'm just not getting it with that, which is a shame. But you know, you can't win them all. Generally, my book choices are pretty good, but that one was a bit of a dog. But never mind. Nice drawing monsters on her sketchbook. Yes. See, when I think of monsters, I just think of my little scrapbook page that I did with the googly eyes, and it makes me happy every time. Thea can't do live stream watching and arting at the same time. That's funny. Jan's working on a cup of coffee and sitting in my armchair away from the desk. Away from the desk is good. This is one of the issues that I'm having just now. My right hip flexor and gluteal muscle, so my butt cheek, is very, very tight, and the sitting doesn't help. Thankfully didn't cause me any problems in my run this morning. But yes, getting away from the desk is a good idea if you can. Sense and Sensibility. Goodness me. Danny says life's too short to read bad books. Now this is the thing, I'm quite philosophical about this. It's not necessarily a bad book, it's just not the right book for me, and there's a difference. And it's kind of the same reason, I'm back to this like really bright yellow. It's kind of the same reason that I would follow through with an artwork that I think's a dead duck, or I'm not going to learn anything from, or whatever. There are always lessons to be learned, even if it's what not to do next time. And with this particular book that I'm reading, it is set within a heavily black community in America, which is something I don't have a lot of knowledge or a particularly good understanding of. One of the reasons why I will continue to read that book. But it's not the that's not the reason that it's not holding my interest. It's the writing style, and as I say, the sort of character development is just not, it's not great. The main character is kind of lacking in areas, and I understand that that's kind of part of the plot, because I used to write short fiction, like I know how this stuff works, but I feel he's very underdeveloped, and I think the author's kind of harsh on him, like unnecessarily. But I will continue to see it out because I'm that person, and then I'll complain about it afterwards because I'm also that person. So that's just the way it is. Jan says, see a tight arse. Oh, literally, yes. But only a one-sided tight arse. Oh, I knew Jan was going to say something. Of course he did. We'd be really, really upset if she didn't, wouldn't we? Danny just heard butt cheek while spacing out. It brought me back to reality. Yes, I've got a tight bum cheek. It's funny though, because when I'm in the house, I mean, a lot of the time, like, I'm in the house on my own, and the last couple of days I've literally been walking about with my finger like squished into my butt cheek from the side while I'm walking, because it provides relief. It's really good. Anyone walking in or seeing that in a public setting would be like, what is wrong with her? Very lucky to work from home and live on my own. Yana's found free audiobooks on YouTube, started listening to The Hobbit, and the reader is amazing. Well, this is the thing. I'm getting to that point, Yana, when I start to do my longer runs. I try and do a longer distance on a Sunday, and I get to a point where I don't want to listen to music anymore because it gets quite sort of repetitive and jarring, and I start listening to audiobooks. And the biggest thing for me about an audiobook is not the story, it's the narrator. Like, if I've got a good narrator, then I could be listening to them reading the telephone book and it would be fine. That's a huge thing. Like, I totally get that. Tolkien's so hard to read. Oh. Jan usually has a couple of books on the go at one time. I can't even cope with that, Jan, like that. I'm like, no. Read one which did not attract me for the first half, but it was brilliant in the end, so worth it. But that happens sometimes as well, and that's another reason why I'll always see a book through. Sometimes it is a slow starter. Patty's listened to both and found them more enjoyable and fast speed. Oh no. Yeah, Mary, the only time I can do audiobooks is when I'm running. See, when I'm working, sometimes I have to work with like really boring data sets and I'm basically on autopilot. Even when I'm doing that, I can't listen to audiobooks. I literally only listen to them when I'm running. And I think part of it is to like distract yourself from the discomfort of what's going on in your body. Like, it allows you to dissociate a wee bit. But I can't. I've tried, because everyone's like, oh yeah, put a podcast on, listen to an audiobook, and I'm like, no, absolutely boring. I would rather read a book. I love turning pages, and it's obviously the same reasons that I like traditional arting. I am a very tactile person. I like to touch things, I like to squeeze things, I like to tickle things, I like how things feel against my skin. There's a lot of things I don't like how they feel against my skin. And I don't think books are any different from that, honestly. And I'm like, a total bibliophile. I get that. Again, Mama Jem, bless her, I wish she was still here. She would love this conversation about Lord of the Rings, because that is one of her favourite books ever. And recently Papa Jem gave me her old battered copy that she had like tucked away, which I'm so happy to have. But yeah, I've definitely inherited that from my mum. And it's something that I love. See, just that turning the pages and oh, it's so good. And the smell, the book smell. The book smell is everything. Thea says, you guys want to know the first English book I've read? Yes, I do. I would like to know. Ulrika's got 3 books on the go at present. Get out. I just can't with you guys. Like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, I think that's Mr. Gemin for a cup of coffee. Black Rose isn't into audiobooks. Can't focus on it. Yeah, okay. Martine loves a good podcast though. Thea's first book in English was Animal Farm. Oh my god. How did that go at 12 years old, Thea? Jeez, oh. Thea sure should 100% sure she had no idea what was going on whatsoever. And The Hobbit was too hard. Oh, good grief. That's the thing though, Danny, like, and it's something that I've thought about a lot. Like, when you lose someone, you know, there's a lot of kind of like sometimes frivolous and silly thoughts that go through your head. It's almost as if you're just trying to blame anything on anything that you can. One of the things I used to hate about my mum, and I mean this wholeheartedly, her and I obviously both being big readers, I've got a lot of books. When she came to stay, sometimes she would just saunter through and say to me, Jem, I've got nothing to read. Have you got something I can read? And I'm like, oh, Mama, you take your pick. You really didn't want Mama Jem to take one of your books though, because I feel like book readers are in one of two camps. You're either in the camp that I'm in, that when you read a book, by the time you've finished reading the book, no one would know that you've read the book. And then there's the Mama Jem camp of she hands you a book back that she's read, and she might as well have like dragged it behind her car from the entire journey from the west coast to the east coast and then dusted it off and handed it to you. And I used to hate it because if I lent her a book, it came back dog-eared, usually with some sort of food stain on it. All the pages were like turned over or folded, the spine was all cracked. And I used to sit and be like, I couldn't stand it. And the the last book that I gave her before she passed away, it was in a set of 7, and it was the first one just to see if she liked the series or not. And she gave me it back and I was like, holy hell, like what happened? Like literally did you like roll about in a muddy puddle with it? And I was so annoyed about it. And see now it's back in like, because the 7 books came in like a cardboard like bookcase, you know, the spines all face out. And I love the fact that that book's there, and it looks completely different from the other 6 because it's just a reminder that my mum had that book and it was probably one of the last things she read, and I'm so glad now. But it's funny at the same time because I used to want to choke her to death for it, like stop reading my books. So there you go. But it's quite funny, and I love having that reminder of her because it reminds me that she is definitely still around, like she's still kicking about. And I kind of love that about her now, but I never used to love that about her. But I'm like, I've never been able to fathom, because my mum was also like a bedtime reader. Like she would sit during the day sometimes, especially in her later years when she was like retirement age, she would sit and read a book elsewhere, and I'm very aware that I tend to only read in bed, so it makes sense that my books wouldn't go through the same trauma. But I swear blind, like I'm like, Mum, what have you been doing with this book? Holy, like, come on. And she's like, well, I don't know, that's just the way it is. And I'm like, oh, I'm funny. And yet there you go, Papa Jem, he would sooner drop dead than read anything that was fiction. So there you go. Marisa, do not bend the pages. And Thea's mum sleeps on her books. That's so funny. Black Rose treats her books like a treasure. Yeah, like the same. It's something else that's quite interesting as well. The last time Julia was over, she brought me a book, a paperback copy of a book that I've already read, but she brought me the Swedish version because the book was originally written in Swedish. And she basically brought it over for me, you know, as a Swedish lesson. But because I know the story, I should be able to follow it a bit better. My Swedish reading comprehension is not at adult level at all, like not even close. But Julia is very encouraging, and she's like, because you know the story, like even if you can only pick out like every 4th or 5th word, you should be able to follow it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that anytime soon, but, you know, definitely for the future, Give it to me. But the copy she brought over, on the cover, there's a little stamp in the corner and it looks like a denim pocket, you know, like a stitched denim pocket. And apparently in Sweden, they put that on books to show you that it's a cheap recycled paperback copy, and they are meant to be used for students who are studying so that you can write annotations on them and things, and it's, you know, nobody's wrecking a precious edition of a book. And I'm like, that's amazing. I would never personally deface a book because I'm far too precious, just as the conversation that we've been having. But I was like, that is so cool. And Julia's like, I specifically brought you this one so that you can highlight it and write things, you know, like round the margin and everything to help you learn Swedish. And I'm like, that's amazing, but I'm never going to do it because I'm not going to ruin a book like that. But how cool is that? It's so good. Like, I really like it. I was right into that. Like, what a good idea, you know, for students and things. If you, like, say you take an English Lit Cat class or, you know, your language equivalent, you can go and pick up one of these books for a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars or a couple of euros or whatever. So it's not precious, no one's losing out, and it can help you along the way, and you can put it back and recycle it again, and that's it. Like, it's so cool. Like, yes, Sweden are really clever with stuff like that, but we're clearly not that clever. Thea doesn't mind when it looks like it's been read, but it doesn't have to be mangled. Oh no, the Mama Gem was firmly in the mangled camp. Mum always read library books, so that was an amazing legacy, so we're all careful. Well, it's funny because my mum read a lot of library books too, and I'm pretty sure the librarian used to curse her every single time for that exact reason. It is, isn't it, Ulrika? Like, it really is. I was like, I had no idea that such a thing existed, but it is such a good idea. I'm still not going to do it though, but now that I know that's a thing, what I'll probably do is go and get another copy of that edition so that I can keep one good, and because it's in Swedish, and then have another one that I'll maybe scribble all over, because I do think it would help my Swedish very much. The other thing that's kind of on my to-do list in terms of the Swedishness, I'm aware that you guys can barely see that. I've put that this sort of slightly more orangey colour. I've put like a highlight or a low light, I suppose, just on there, but it's not very apparent in the light because I've turned the overhead light off. Just see it. The other thing that I want to do is, one of the very first films that I watched in Swedish long before I had met a Swedish person was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The first time I saw that was the Swedish version that was dubbed in English long before the Daniel Craig version came out. So again, I've read the books as well. The books translated into English are terrible, by the way. There's a lot lost in translation. But Julia said to me, go back and watch the Swedish version again, because I've seen the English version now too. Know the story very well. She's like, go back and watch the Swedish version and don't put the subtitles on. But what she said to do is to put the subtitles on in Swedish, because again, I find it easier to track written Swedish than spoken Swedish. But because you know the story, you can follow along anyway. So 100% that's on my to-do list as well. Like, it really is. I'm excited by that. All these little funny things. Like, I have zero use for Swedish other than speaking to Julia, but I'm like, I'm a person that likes to learn, and I know like a smattering in a couple of languages. And my German's pretty rusty, but my German's not bad. My Italian's pretty rusty, but again, I could get by. But I actually have a use for Swedish, although it's only with Swedish people, so I feel it's important to keep it up. This little mint pen's just caught my eye, and I'm going to use that on these ice cream, well, one of these ice cream scoops in here. Marigold only buys physical books that are collectible signed editions, otherwise just an ebook Kindle reader. Oh no, I need the physical book because that's just me. Oh, Rika uses her Kindle as well. I'm just really not, again, it's the same with the art thing for me. But I think part of it for me is I spend so much time in front of a screen between work and the fact that one of my hobbies are computer games. Reading is very much an escape from the digital world for me. and I fully intend to keep it that way. Plus it reminds me a lot of my mum too. So my gran as well. So yeah, some of you know, like my mum's mum, who lived to be a very good ripe old age, that as well. She was a big reader too, and that's obviously like where we get it from. So it's that's kind of part of it too. Oh, Mary can't hold them comfortably anymore, unfortunately. Oh, that's a shame. Like, I understand that. I get that. Patty's saying they have books in libraries too. Do you, Pat? What, in like Canadian publish versions? Like, that's so cool. We just don't have that here. Or if we do, I don't know anything about it. And I would like to think that I do, because I do read a lot of physical stuff. Look at that pink colour. It's so nice. Doesn't look that different to this one, but it is. This is like the hot pink. Hot pink. And I've got like a peachy colour here. Maxie says, I love my books. When we moved to the UK, one of the biggest things I brought with and actually paid to have it shipped was my book collection. Oh, I bet you that was expensive, Maxie, because books are heavy. Yeah, the Kindle you can prop on a beanbag, yep. Jan doesn't have room in her flat, so she's got books and a Kindle. Well, that was one of the sacrifices I made. Again, a lot of you will know that my old house was much, much bigger than this house. And I had at least 1,500 books in the old house. I think it was probably much more than that. And when we moved here, because we were coming to a much smaller house, I made some sacrifices. The thing is as well though, for me, I very rarely read a book more than once, unless something in it really resonates with me. So I was very strict with myself when, you know, because we were moving to a smaller house. I was like, no, I really have to sort this out. So I really cut down my book collection. So I'm definitely under 1,000 now. I'm probably near 800 books, but I haven't kept anything that I know for a fact I would never read a second time. I was like, let someone else enjoy them. Go free little bookies, off you go. That was a bit cathartic, but you have to be realistic about these things. But I'm not prepared to sit and read books on a digital screen. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm all digitaled out most of the time. But it's down to preference and, you know, for the likes of Mary, ability as well. And the fact that you're still able to read comfortably and pick out whatever you want is amazing, because many years ago we would not have had that option. Maxie says it was indeed, referring to how expensive it was to ship her books. That's commitment, I tell you. Thea can read books over and over because she can never remember them. That's classic, love it. Mary's got a small number of read over and over books, but otherwise I really reread. Yeah. Ulrika's partner couldn't believe how many books she had in a small space we moved in together. Pretty sure Mr. Jem was the same. Patty says people have little houses that look like birdhouses, but for books outside their houses, sort of take one and leave one idea. Patty, well, here in Scotland, I don't know, and there's a few in England as well. We have the old telephone boxes, the traditional red ones, and especially in rural areas, they're made into public libraries, and that's what you do. You go and you pick a book out, but you take one to leave in its place. We have lots and lots of them round here, and they work really, really well. But it's just nice that they're in that traditional old, you know, disused red phone box. Mary's fantasy that she reads, Kindle Paperwhite, is like paper books. Yeah, no, I tried one and I was like, yeah. Thea's is so old that our battery doesn't last. Maxie's goal is to get to 1,000 books. Apparently if you have 1,000 books, it's officially a library. I've had a library a couple of times over, and that's an accolade that I like very much. Thank you for that. Right, I think I'm going to fix my sparkle mistake just before it's not a mistake. My sparkle situation. I want to take a really dark blue. I've got like a navy blue somewhere. Yeah, it's like an indigo colour. Look at that, came in the dark set as well, that I was talking about earlier. Give it a shake. I'm going to have to put this overhead light back on, it's getting quite dark in here now. Oh, sorry for the light adjustment. Yeah, that's better. Right, so just to kind of rectify this situation and give a bit of clarity. It's a bit like using a black Sharpie marker to cover up some mistakes. Covers up a multitude of sins. Also give us some nice contrast, which you'll not like very much. Get that up and round there. I'm trying to go carefully. There you go, you can see that's defined that edge quite nicely. So let's assume that it's the same part that's going on the other side. Yeah. Instantly better. Like instantly, no problems there. I mean, if this wasn't a little bit of cardboard that I received in the post, I could go back in with a fine liner as well and actually put the line work back in. I don't think I need to do that. This is purely just for funsies. But funsies I am having. I don't know what I'm going to do with this waffle situation over here. Okay. Let's just try and do some squares just because we can. I'm not even going to try and fill this entire area in each one of these squares. Just going to give the impression. And then I'm going to run a lighter colour at a right angle, you know, on the highlight side. Down this side. Because we'll make it look fun. Fun. Oh. My hand seems to be really twitchy now. I'm doing fine. I don't know whether it's coming out in sympathy for my tooth, which by the way is starting to throb a little bit. But that's okay. We've made it through. We've made it through. Right, I'll give that a little waft. The ice cream scoops should be dry by now, so I'm going to grab my whites. This is the 1MR, so this is like the ballpoint version. Thea thinks she's rather far away from a library. Now's at around 80 to 100 books per year. Who? Do you know, it's funny because I always write down the bookmark that I use in my books is always a paper bookmark, and I write the books down that I'm reading as I go. And over the last, like, I want to say 10 years, I've gone through fits and starts of how much I'm reading, but it always averages out to like one book a week, and that is proven over the last like decade. So yeah, you're reading a lot now. Goodness me. But I say I tend to only read in bed at night. I can't imagine trying to squeeze in reading as another task to do on a daily basis for me. There's way too much going on. But I can always manage at least a paragraph or two. Even if I'm really tired, I can still do a paragraph or two. It's fine. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying, Thea, about going through phases. There's times, especially when I'm under a lot of pressure, and I'm maybe literally only reading a paragraph a night. So it takes a long time to get through a book. But again, it's a bit like artsy. When I'm under a lot of serious stress, I just stop doing it altogether. And when Mum passed away, I hardly read at all for the first maybe, I wouldn't say 3 months. But interestingly, that was one of the first things that I picked back up, because that's kind of like part of a routine for me, reading, and it was one of the first things to kind of return after that initial, you know, sort of shock and grief period, which I don't know whether Mum was maybe like encouraging me from the other side, like get back reading, but I just find it interesting. That was one of the first things that kind of returned to normal. Chad's like, take more Jack Daniels. Okay. It's so hard sometimes to find something decent to read. It's interesting that you say that, because I have like series of books that I call my comfy slippers books. So things that I will always go to if I can't find something new or interesting to read. So Stephen King novels, because yeah, love, have done since a young age. David Baldacci, who's a sort of crime thriller type writer, if you don't know who he is. And Terry Pratchett, the Discworld novels. I've read most of the Discworld novels just now. But there's a few that I haven't. But if I just want something that's like easy reading, then I know where to go. So I jump between those when I can't find something new and exciting to read. I really want to bring in some of this blue colour. We'll maybe do a little bit of this. I've got this turquoise colour. Let's go never mind the blue, get the turquoise one. And I think I might do one of these swirly whirly things because I want to kind of like start joining these parts up. I need to get this one going. Oh, this is so nice, this one. So nice. So I think I'll start there because I want to keep repairing my straw situation there. It's such a nice colour. Like, it's so good. But let's bring... Let's take this section here. Why not? The only thing I don't like about these Amsterdam ones is it's a very rounded tip, so it's difficult to get precision with them when you're working in areas like this, but I'm just going to do my best, but it's going to be a bit scrappy. And it's one of the reasons why, if I just show you one of the Molotov markers, these are dual-ended ones, so you've got something with a pointy point on, and then you've got that rounded sort of bullet tip as well. So that's one of the many reasons I really like these markers, even compared to the Poscas. But these little Amsterdam markers, the colours are fantastic, and you get like a lot of colours are readily available that aren't so much with the Poscas. But it's very difficult to control where you're going a lot of the time, especially if you're like me and you lift your pen a lot. Again, that's just a hand limitation thing. But look at that colour, it's so freaking nice. Maybe we should make this, let's make this a theme all the way through, because look, there's this big bit here. Let's do it. Ooh. Fun, fun, fun. I'm so into this, it's ridiculous. It's interesting because normally when it comes to things like this, especially in a live stream, I like to, like, I'm a productive person. I like to be productive. And this is productive in the sense that we can see the outcome, but this has no extra benefit for me. Like, I'm not going to benefit from this in every way. It's not like a page in a colouring book where you flick through the book and you're like, oh yeah, that one's finished. This is literally just a scrap of cardboard, but I am so invested in this, I've got no idea why, but I kind of like it. That's kind of the appeal, and one of the things I really like about art, and because I feel quite liberated by it. And I've talked about this many times before, but a lot of the time I feel like my life is so organised and everything's so regimented, and art is an area where I can just fly by the seat of my pants for fun, and it is kind of fun and no one's going to get hurt. So maybe this is where we're going with this. It's very philosophical. I'm going to tidy up that top edge, and because we've got 3 lines here, I'm going to like incorporate that in further on. But I just wanted to join this bit that we've been colouring in. I wanted to kind of like join it together a little bit. I feel that's a good way to do it. So, yeah. Oh, I've missed a lot of the chat now because I've been prattling on. Right, okay, so there's the Jack Daniels comment, which I'm gonna just acknowledge again. Stop hurting, stupid tooth. Yeah, it's in the, like on the pain scale for me, I've got a pretty good pain threshold. It's kind of getting up there now though, but I only have to make it till Friday, and this is Wednesday, so we'll be okay. Yeah, but it's definitely there, and I'm gonna have to take some painkillers before I go to bed, otherwise I'm not gonna get much sleep, I don't think. Mary reads in bed after carer's been, or on the weekend. Yes. Mary reads stupidly fast though. Well, do you know, I was having a conversation with something about that, about reading comprehension speeds, and apparently I do read quite quickly, like in the grand scheme of things, but my problem is I'm easily distracted. Like, see if I hear a noise or someone speaks to me or something, like I can't just pick up where I left off and start reading at the speed I was reading. So that's quite interesting. Jan's reading a biography of Joan of Arc and a book on Roman Britain. Well, there's a surprise, Jan. And Thea says, I don't dare touch anything Stephen King. I love it. Like, I really do. Sir P. Terry is such an easy read. Yeah, well, he's an easy read in the first place, though. But I think you've got to be in the headspace for that kind of humour. Like, I'm a big fan of Monty Python humour, and I find that Terry Pratchett's humour is very similar to that. So, I've had people tell me, like, the comprehension, even of, like, the sentence structure things, because it's quite long-winded, they've got to concentrate to pick it apart, whereas I don't, but I think it fits in with the ludicrous, slightly long-winded humour of the Monty Python era, which, of course, was when a lot of Terry Pratchett's books were written. But I think that's something you can kind of get into, like, you can get into the groove of, you know, that definitely makes a difference. Mary can't read horror anymore either. 172 books this year. Yeah, but that's okay though for someone that's in a bookish kind of industry and spends quite a lot of time at home. That's pretty, you know, that's, I wouldn't say that's outrageous. It's impressive, but it's not outrageous. Now it feels like Goodreads used to do such a good job of suggesting books. I haven't used Goodreads for at least a decade. Yeah, it did used to be good though. I liked it too. Colleen Hoover, no. No. I've never been so pissed off about a book. Ah. What would be the gentlest Stephen King novel except on writing, because I've read that one, I just remembered. Martine's writing books, fantasy. Right, well, let me tell you a story, Martine. Before I started arting, before the cave came into fruition, one of the reasons that I started drawing was because I couldn't write anymore. Again, back on the theme of death, because that's what we do here. I lost my dog and my Nona, so my Italian grandmother, very, very close together. And it kind of affected me, and I found that I tried to write after that and I just couldn't. And see, when I did spit out a couple of paragraphs, it was utter bollocks. It was terrible. And I just kind of deleted it. Before that though, I used to write a lot of short fiction, and I've had a couple of short stories published. So I am very much into that. My niche though was was Weird Western, so like Wild West stories with a fantasy twist, and that was my most published genre. I wrote a lot of like gritty sort of real life contemporary stuff as well, and I had a few bits published with that. But I just found it very strange that one of the things that seemed to be really popular was my ridiculous stories about, rootin' tootin' cowboys that happen to have a magical whatever. It kind of tickled me though, and if that's what my 40 was, then so be it. So it's not weird, okay? You go and you do it and you enjoy it because that's what you're meant to do. Still would love to read Jim's short stories. I'm not prepared to release them on the wider internet, because there is still a bit of me like in the back of my mind that hopes that someday some of it's published. Patty says definitely not The Stand. That's directed at Thea. Yeah, no, not The Stand. Daria says I've read Jem's short story writing. She's quite good. Thank you. Yeah, Daria's actually read one of my my most popular weird Western short stories. It's called Jacob's Ladder, and it's about a really old grumpy guy that it's just good. I like writing about old grumpy characters as well. It's one of my favourite character tropes. But anyway, I don't really do that anymore. I don't think I've got it in me anymore, but you never know. Christine, do you know what, Mary? I was going to say that, and this might like I don't really rate Christine in with Stephen King's greatest works, but I think for Thea's perspective it might be a good place to start, because it is like you really have to suspend certain beliefs for that one, shall we say. The Stand with Anna, because I read the Dark Tower series, like all of them, before I read The Stand, and I loved the Dark Tower series. And then when I read The Stand, I was like, oh, I wish I'd read this one first. It was so, so good, and I loved like the cross-referencing. The Stand is still one of my favourite books of all time. And again, I see Stephen King as like the comfy slippers of reading. I wouldn't say that there's any sort of outstanding writing, but what I will say is writing style and general quality levels are quite consistent, and that's what I like about him. One of the ones that it was an absolute stinker was The Cell. I bought that when it first came out, and I was like, what is this tosh that I am reading? So wouldn't recommend that one. But Christine is probably a good place to start for you, Thea, in that it's not that supernatural or scary. Like, I think you would get... What's with the air quotes today? Like, stop it. Or you can ask her partner about less scary King books, and he suggested Eyes of the Dragon as its dark fairy tale. Yeah, that's not really traditional King, though. Like, I can totally see his point in that one, but it's not really. It's kind of like kiddie on King. It's like Carry On films, but in horror form. I don't know. Anyway, right guys, it's 25 to 6. I am going to have to go because I have a massive to-do list that I've got to get on with. I would kind of like to get through some of it before my tooth starts hurting anymore as well. So yeah, there's that. Tommy Knockers, I would say, like, ones to avoid, Thea, just, or for anyone else. Tommy Knockers, Pet Sematary, It, The Shining maybe as well. I would steer clear of those for sure to begin with. Mary couldn't read It but read all the others. It was the first Stephen King book that I read, and I read it when I was about 11. So there you go, desensitised now. A bag of bones ran you off. Really? Okay. Right guys, I'm going to stop there. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I have had an absolute ball this afternoon. I have missed this so much, and I know it's literally like a snippet of hours out of a week, and sometimes we don't accomplish much today, but this has been so good, and I'm so glad to be back. I hope that I'll maybe see some of you next Wednesday. You know, this is obviously a good time for you. I'm hoping to have a video in between. I'm struggling so much for time in between, but I'm going to try and get the Cave Discoveries video out. But thank you so much for joining me. We've had really good conversations today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. For some of you, there'll be a lot of that left. For some of you, not so much. But I'll see you back here in the cave really soon for more fun. And I might do a little bit more of this and then post it on Instagram just for funsies. Oh God, we've got all the other hands. Other hands for everyone. The gang is back. Right guys, I shall see you all next time. Bye bye for now.